What's up everyone, welcome back to King Anime Review, and for this video I will be reviewing episode 179 of Boruto Naruto Next Generations, Victor's Scheme. So this episode, just like last week's episode, was great when it comes to explaining things that wasn't fully explained or elaborated on in the manga, and it added some great detail to the story. So just like last week's episode, this was a great episode when it comes to adding more detail to the story, just like in the manga. So the episode started off with Victor. He was basically, his body was deteriorating after his battle against Orochimaru, and he had to use his regeneration, and his body started to deteriorate. So he went to Amado's. He went to meet up with Amado, and Amado basically told him that just like basically his body is getting worse, is deteriorating, and he won't be able to, pretty soon, certain body parts of his won't be able to regenerate. Just like how his eye can't regenerate and his leg can't regenerate. So that's why his eye and leg have been like that, because they haven't been able to regenerate. That's why he had that little wood thing on his leg to help him walk, because his leg can't regenerate. And Mato said pretty soon other body parts will be like that, where they can't regenerate for Victor. And also we learned that Victor, he basically used the curse mark to extend his life. And yeah, and but his whole goal with going to meet up with Amato was getting inside the infirmary, where is basically connected to a place that's prohibited from the other inners of Korra. I'm pretty sure only Amato and Jigen has access to that place, but it's prohibited, and it's where the vessel is. It's the location where the vessel is. So that's why Victor wanted to go to Amato, because he had a plan. Before he went there, he took some medicine to put himself in a coma at a certain time, and he ended up getting into the infirmary, and Amato ended up having to leave because because Delta called him. So that was Victor's scheme right there. You could see him scheming. He literally set that whole thing up, where he was going to put himself in a coma and get into the infirmary so he can get to where he wasn't allowed to go to, which is the place where the vessel is. Now, technically, he didn't actually go there himself, but the infirmary was connected to that place, so he used like some type of bug to, and it looked like it was like a scientific ninja tool bug or whatever, and he used that to like go through the vents and stuff and get to where the vessel was and extract data from where the vessel was inside. So all of that was cool. Seeing Victor scheming and stuff was cool. Then we seen Delta. She called Amato, and she wanted Amato to recalibrate her and basically make some improvements to her body, just like she was doing with Victor. Just like Amato was doing with Victor. But Amato informed her that Victor was in the infirmary, and she was talking about how she hate basically a lot of the Korra members, like Boro, Victor, and Ko, and even Amato. And then Amato got called by Jigen, and Jigen asked Amato, is it true that the vessel is in the third phase 3? And Amato said that, yeah, that's true, and he didn't tell Jigen because he basically wanted to make sure it was in phase 3, and he didn't want to get his hopes up. And apparently, according to the plan, and by the way, of course, all the members of the Inners, they all have a wish, a goal that they're trying to fulfill, and is pretty much counting on Korra plan being successful. And apparently, when Kawaki, not Kawaki, I forgot. My bad. I let that slip. But when the vessel is in phase 3, that's when their plans was supposed to be moving forward. But Victor was very impatient with that. So that's basically what it was. Victor was very impatient, and yeah, it's understandable why, and it makes sense why he was doing all of this stuff throughout this whole arc so far. The Korra actuation arc is because he was growing impatient. Basically, he's at a state where he's almost about to die, and he's on the verge of death, and he's almost dead. I mean, well, he's on the verge of death because he's an old man, and the curse mark he was using to extend his life is now, Amado said, is basically now becoming like a illness, and it's not working effectively. So yeah, that's why he's been trying to do the thing with the the divine tree. That's why he tried to do that, and now that's why he's trying to get involved with the vessel and speed up the process to use some leverage against Jigen. That's why he's trying to find out more about the vessel. So then Victor basically he told Amado and Jigen that he can transport the vessel because Jigen wants to run a test on the vessel, and in order to do that, they have to transport him. And Victor said that he can transport him using his. They can transport the vessel using Victor's airship, which is in the basically it's under. You can't detect it. Shinobi can't detect it, and they agreed to that. Jigen and Amado agreed to that, but they said that Victor couldn't be on board and stuff like that. But Victor had already placed some machinery in there to allow him to change the course of the airship even if he wasn't on it. But it ended up not working, and it ended up causing the airship to basically crash down. And yeah, so and also a cool thing about the airship, it actually turned invisible. So that's really cool. I don't know how it did that, but so yeah, that was another thing with it. And it actually flew over the Hidden Leaf Village. And yeah, everything is lining up. Everything is making sense with the manga. All of this stuff is making sense because it basically, all of this stuff was how the vessel arc started off in the manga, except they didn't have all of this extra detail to fully explain what was going on and how stuff got set up. But we did have the airship crash in the manga. That's pretty much, I believe that's where the manga started off with this vessel arc, the airship crash, or at least that was a part of the vessel arc. But they didn't show exactly what happened before the airship crash and exactly what they did, the core members, and what their objective was with the airship at first. They didn't show that. So it was cool that they added all of that detail and explained some things that wasn't fully explained in the manga and elaborate on some things, and it was just some great stuff overall. And also Boruto and Team 7, they got basically congratulated and that was getting basically complimented by Naruto, and Boruto asked Naruto to have a sparring match with him, and Naruto agreed to it. So yeah, we're gonna be getting a sparring match with those two, or at least, well, Naruto said he'll think about it. So yeah, that was also a nice thing that they added in there, and further giving more detail as to what's gonna happen in the manga. So further setting that up. So that was great with that. And overall, I just think the episode was fantastic when it comes to, just like last week's episode. Like I kept on saying, just like last week's episode, it added a lot of detail to the story from the manga, and it explained some things or went into more detail and further elaborated on some things that wasn't fully explained in the manga. So, and set up some things that wasn't necessarily set up in the manga. Like I said, we saw the airship crash, but we didn't see what happened, what led up to it, what the core members did, and why they put the vessel on that airship. Now, so overall, I think it was a fantastic episode in terms of story. 10 out of 10 easily for the story. And the artwork was below average in some scenes, not throughout the entire episode, but in a couple of scenes the artwork was looking kind of weird in certain scenes. In particular, when Team 7 was talking to Naruto, the artwork did look kind of weird in some of those scenes. But overall, the artwork looked pretty great throughout the episode. Even with the core members that was shown, Delta, Jigen, they looked great for the most part. There was some scenes where they looked a little bit off, but those scenes were very, very few. In fact, it was only a couple scenes like that. So overall, the artwork was pretty standard throughout the majority of the episode. As a matter of fact, pretty good throughout the majority of the episode. But there were a couple of scenes where the artwork was off. So for that, I'm going to have to say, I usually give the artwork a 9 out of 10 because that's the standard I usually give it. And if it's above average, if it's above like how good it usually is, like if it's super top tier, like when we get super top tier fight scenes, I usually give it a 10 out of 10. But for this episode, I'm going to give it an 8.5 because it wasn't consistently good throughout the entire episode. It was good for the most part, but there were a couple of scenes where it was off. So 8.5 out of 10 for the art, 10 out of 10 for the story, which is the most important part of the episode, and then for the animation, 9 out of 10. Overall, I'm going to say it was a 10 out of 10 episode. The story was fantastic, setting up some great stuff from the manga, adding more detail to stuff that wasn't fully explained in the manga. Just great stuff overall. And it was even some nice kind of scary type of music in the episode, like music that I usually hear in scary movies. It was some similar sound of music to that, to some, ominous music in the episode. So overall, it was just a great episode overall. I really enjoyed it, and yeah, that's all I gotta say about it. Next week, we're gonna be getting from the preview is gonna be about Mujino, so yeah, getting his backstory and stuff. So that'll be cool. And yeah, with that being said, that's all I gotta say about the episode. Thank you guys for watching the video. If you liked the video, please drop a like. Also comment, let me know what you guys thought of the review and the video in the comment section below. And please, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe and click that notification bell to be notified on my future videos. With that being said, thank you guys for watching the video, and I'll catch you on the next one. Peace out.